Hey, this is Matt once again. Welcome back to another review. There's another paid request. It's this time for Jonathan Lindsey. And for those interested in requesting any type of videos, topics, reactions, reviews, re-reviews, could be randomness, out of blueness, whatever it may be, feel free to send it either directly to my PayPal or join my Patreon. Both links are down below in the info box. And this is for Akira from 1988. The film that introduced me, and I think a lot of people, to anime. Now, I've said this before, I'm not a big anime guy. There's a couple I enjoyed. Ninja Scroll I enjoyed, and there were a couple others. But I don't seek them out. And really enough, I almost want to say I got spoiled because Akira was the first one I saw, and for me, not many of them has stood up to the coolness of Akira. So it's like, okay, that was the first one I saw, and in my opinion, it's the best one I saw. And I think a lot of them, in my opinion, pale in comparison. But I think that it definitely introduced a lot of people in the West to anime. Anime had been there well before it, but people where I lived didn't know what anime was. I remember seeing on VHS tape, I remember the first one I saw, the first version, you had Kaneda voiced by Cam Clark. If you don't know who that is, that's the voice of Leonardo in the 80s Ninja Turtles cartoon. So I'm like, okay, the cover is a guy on a motorcycle, and on the back there's like some evil looking guy with clown makeup. I'm like, what's this? And I'm listening, I'm like, wait a minute, that sounds like Leonardo from the 80s cartoon. Oh, it is. And I remember being blown away. Now, I never read the manga. From what I understand, in the manga, it's a much longer story. This anime is pretty much cut in a big section in the middle, as well as a few other changes. That, granted, creates a few little issues here and there, but overall, I think it's a visual tour de force. I still think it looks really cool as a movie. The disaster in Tokyo with this explosion, and then this Neo Tokyo is born, and the landscape and the music. I gotta commend the score. The musical score is epic. The musical score makes the movie feel on an epic nature, with choir, orchestral type of music, and orchestral might be the wrong word. I think choir type of music when it's needed. But even just the rest of it, like when we're introduced, I can't even mimic the score. It's just a very effective score. It fits well with the scope of what's going on, especially in the second half. This is a bit of a build-up. It is a bit of a slow build-up, which would not be some people's cup of tea, but I thought it was fine enough because that's when it really goes apeshit crazy in the second half of the film. It's a little over 2 hours. In this instance, I could deal with it. And at this time, I watched it with the subtitles. So I didn't watch the version with... Because I had seen that many times with Cam Clark voicing it, so I decided to watch it in its natural dialect with subtitles. And in this Neo Tokyo, it's ravaged by gangs. One of them, you have Kaneda, you have Tetsuo, who's his friend, and they're fighting this gang called the Clowns. And again, a lot of really cool... Because again, by that point, I had not seen this type of animation. I thought, wow, this is very unique, and the way it details motion, especially during his action scenes, like the motorcycle sequence. And wow, it's like really very violent and brutal, and there's body horror, there's a really crazy creativity. Yeah, and a lot of great visuals. And I like that 80s aesthetic as well, where it's not too clean cut like it would be nowadays. There's still a certain bit of roughness, which I think fits with the story, where the government, there's corrupt politicians, there's gangs vying for the control of the city, There's experiments with psychic warfare. One of the experiments is why Tokyo got blown up in the first place. And it looks like it's ready to happen again. During this game fight, Tetsuo takes someone out. I do wish Kaneda, who in the movie he's pretty much our lead, along with Tetsuo. I wish Kaneda had a bit more to do. Pretty much he's racing against the leader of the clowns. I think his name is Joker. They're playing chicken. One kind of eats shit and the other doesn't. But Kaneda, I wish he had moments where he beats someone or knocks someone off. Because again, this is our lead, to give him an even stronger introduction. That's just a little nitpick I have. And also, I'm like, what happened to this Joker character? Because he has like a nice look to him, distinguished look on his face. I remember that was one of the pictures on the back of the VHS. I'm like, wow, he was intimidating and tough. And then after that, he rides off and he disappears. You never see him for the entire film. I'm like, well, wait a minute, where is this character? How come he doesn't pop back up? Whether Kaneda beats him up or Tetsuo beats him. Apparently in the manga, you kind of find out that that character actually becomes an ally to Kaneda and helps him fight Tetsuo. But they didn't put that in the movie. I'm not sure why. But it's just like, again, a very distinct looking villain, and then he disappears. I'm like, what? Where is he? What happened to him? But during the battle, there's this little kid who's a bit deformed. Tetsuo almost crashes into him. Actually does crash into him. So he gets taken in with the kid while the others get arrested. And Tetsuo's experimented on. You find out that he also has a little bit of power in him that is even more brought to attention because of the government doing experiments. And it goes on from there. And you just have... Watch it again, it was that confusing to me. I think when I first saw it, it was a little bit confusing. Because, again, you're taking a manga and you have to simplify it. You have to bring it down to a 2-hour running time. But it's one of those where I was just so hypnotized by the visuals and the spectacle and just the detail in the background of the city and just the creativity. Like the weird nightmares he has where Tetsuo's guts are falling out, and then when he snaps out of it, there's nothing there, or he's falling through the floor, and just all these weird images in his head. And I guess in the manga, Tetsuo was a less sympathetic character. Because here you feel a bit sorry for him because he didn't want this, and at times he can't control it, and then he's getting kind of hyped on this power, but there's still moments that he can't really control what he's doing. And there's other where this power corrupts him. Absolute power corrupts absolutely, as one would put it. But like at one point when he's in a hospital, he sees these really creepy images. First they're tiny, but then they're bigger. This really fucked up looking teddy bear and bunny. Now, you come to find out there's other kids, including the one that he almost hit, that I guess they're playing. But are they just trying to fuck with Tetsuo, or are they just trying to scare him? Because when they get found out, one of them says, jerk. I'm like, well, wait a minute, are you being little assholes and trying to scare the shit out of them? If so, why? Like, if you have any inkling that this guy could be dangerous, why are you trying to scare him with this crazy looking teddy bear? I don't know, if anyone can explain, you can feel free. It was a cool visual. Maybe it was Tetsuo's mind altering it to come for him. I don't know, I don't really... That's really like some little details. Also, there's a character named Kay, I think there's a, well, there's a female character who Kaneda meets, and you kind of find out that she has a little bit of power. Now, why she has power and why she has enough power that the kids use her in this one battle later on, apparently in the manga that's explained more, but here they kind of bypass that. So I mean, there's a little moments here and there that's a bit confusing still, but it's just not as confusing of a story than when I first saw this back in the day, because I get most of the gist of it. And like I said, as the movie goes on, I could deal with the pacing in this compared to others. But I know where it's going. The payoff is well worth it. Where when Tetsuo unleashes, it's a full-blown fucking insanity. Where like the military is shooting fucking rockets at him, and he stops it and makes it blow up in front of him, and he's crushing tanks with his mind and making bridges collapse. There's even a point he gets shot at by a satellite, and he goes up like he's Superman. And I thought this was a really nice sound design touch on the satellite. He's walking on the side of it, and there's no noise. And he makes the thing explode, and you see the explosion, but you don't hear it, because it's the vacuum of space. I thought, okay, that's actually a really nice detail. Because typically, yeah, you would hear explosions, even though you can't in space, but hey, it's a movie, or it's an animated film, let's do it. But the fact that they actually went that little extra mile, I thought made that scene a little bit more effective. Because a lot of the movie is very loud and explosive, so it's like one moment of calmness. And so it makes it, ooh, shit. He's in space, he's not dying, and he's blowing the shit out of this thing. And it's like that realization, oh, shit. Using the visual medium to its full potential. I did like that quite a bit. At Kaneda, there's a bit where apparently one of their friends, the gang members, get killed. We never see that. I think it would have been more effective if we actually did see it. Pretty much we see the guy push back, and then Tetsuo has this crazy look on his face, and it cuts away. And then later on you find out from another gang member that one guy's dead. I think if you actually saw the death scene, it would be more effective to visually represent, like, we the audience see what he did to this person that was one of his friends, and so then we can even further fuel Kaneda's anger. Because that's the thing, like, the other gang members, you don't really see much of them. Like, there's, what, 5 or 6 of them? Really, you only Kaneda, there's one buddy who's like his sidekick, and this third person that gets killed off screen. The other gang members you don't really see much of. So again, those guys disappearing, the Joker gang leader that's made an impression, him disappearing, the one character who becomes a love interest of Kaneda, like, how can she use these powers? Not really explaining that much. Again, the whole teddy bear thing, were the kids doing it to steer Tetsuo, or were they just doing it for shits and giggles? And because they like attach Tetsuo and he has to jump out of the way. I'm like, why would they do that? Because it doesn't seem like it fits with their characters of these kids afterward, where they're trying to be very peaceful. I'm like, bitches, you just tried to attack him in his bed in the hospital. Now you want peace and harmony and hippie? So maybe there's something else I missed. So again, this little nitpicks here and there I have. That, again, I don't know if that's explained more in the manga or there's something else. But there's so many cool moments in the film that just makes it a treat to watch. Kaneda with this big-ass rifle. When him and the girl have this pretty much like a land speeder going through the hallways to try to save Tetsuo. There's a bit where Tetsuo is grabbing Kaneda and making him fly up. And Kaneda can't deal it, but then he just shoots the rifle. It sprays right in front of Tetsuo. Obviously, it'd be very against the manga, but I would like to even more of a one-on-one battle between Kaneda and Tetsuo. But he does get some nice moments. At one point, Tetsuo's arm gets shot off by the satellite. That's why he destroys it. And then he regrows an arm. And that's... moments like when his arm regrows to his cybernetic arm, that's when the music really becomes an important asset to this. Because, like I said, the score really brings the level of epic... like, this is some serious shit going on. Like, that's using music effectively within a film. And there's a point that Kaneda shoots at the mechanical arm. And then there's a point where Tetsuo's body just keeps growing and growing. And again, you get this massive body horror. It's like, I can't stop it. And even like this like giant, weird fetus looking thing. Or like a hand. But then like each finger has like other hands in them. And very creative, weird, disturbing visuals. And the guy's, Tetsuo's girlfriend, she has some bad fucking luck. Yes, I'm spoiling it, because it's an anime from 1988. People should see it. But then she gets pretty much trapped inside, and he can't stop it, and she pops like a zit. I do find it ironic, 5 minutes later, the 3 psychic kids are, we need to save Kaneda. It's not his fault. I mean, where were you when this little girl, this girlfriend popped like a zit? Oh no, we can't let Kaneda die. So Akira, which apparently he's much more apparent in the manga. Here, you don't really see him physically. He's kind of separating these tubes. Which, I don't know, I like that idea. That Akira is now just left in these tubes. Just makes it even more of a weirder, quirky... Because the whole time Tetsuo's trying to find this Akira. Who is this? Some people think it's me. Who is the actual Akira? He's on this journey to find it. And then to find out that it's just been separated. But his energy, his spirit is there. But again, these 3 caring about Kaneda, these psychic kids. Where was that when this little girlfriend was ready to pop like a zit? You didn't help her out. It's not on the script. Fuck that. And it gets a pretty metaphysical ending. Which again, I think as a kid, I didn't quite get it. But growing up, watching films like 2001: A Space Odyssey, Altered States, other films that I do enjoy, like those two, I was able to understand it a bit more, where the kids and this spirit of Akira try to help Tetsuo out. They can't come back to that world. Also, you get a bit of Kaneda, learn about a little bit of history when they were kids, how he first met Tetsuo. And then pretty much, though they leave, Kaneda and the girl and his sidekick kind of stay behind. They go off into the remains of Tokyo. For all I know, be the only inhabitants there. And then the beginning kind of gets the impression that with the help of these other characters, Tetsuo ascended to pretty much give birth to like a new universe. Or the combined power is able to be unleashed in that format. Pretty heavy shit. That I didn't, as a kid, I didn't know what the fuck was going on. I think at the last minute or two, I'm like, did the movie break? What's going on here? But yeah, other than some nitpicks, again, I wish there was more. I'm greedy. I wanted more of a battle between Kaneda and Tetsuo. because I love that laser cannon he has. So I just want to see a little bit more use of that. So really cool shots. Like gets blasted and the camera turns and it's far away and it focuses in on Kaneda on this shot. Again, moments that's still embedded in my head. I wanted that even more of a lengthy battle. Like I said, Joker, the game member, either... I mean, yeah, it's an adaptation. With adaptations, there are changes that can be made. Either the Joker, either Kaneda beats the shit out of Joker, or Joker comes back and Kaneda beats him, or they're having a fight and then Tetsuo kills him, or Joker, Kaneda beats him, but then later on, he's like, hey, you know what? I respect you. You beat the shit out of me. You know, you have a fight, beat the shit out of each other, you go out for drinks. That type of mentality. Just something a bit more, maybe a little bit of explanation as to why the one girl has powers. I did stuff that was probably truncated because they were in the manga. And like I said, like the whole thing with the cool looking teddy bear type of... It's hard to describe. It's like teddy bear from hell. But were they trying to steer Tetsuo? Like I said, there's little bits here and there. But man, it just... The amount of... When it starts going in the second half, it doesn't stop. And that, again, great looking visuals, epic sounding score, pretty damn gory, pretty damn bloody, and has this kinetic energy in that second half that just not many anime that I've seen captures that. And yeah, there was a lot of effort put into the visuals, and it's just a really cool looking film from the start. And sometimes, I mean, you had great visuals, you had great music. It could help alleviate some nitpicks you may have with the story. But at the same time, the story was not confusing enough. Tetsuo has these powers, they're growing. Corrupt politicians trying to use it. He's a pretty much walking time bomb that's out of control. Of psychic warfare capability. Kaneda, this girl he meets that's part of the resistance, try to stop him, as well as these psychic kids. Shit goes up creek very quickly. Then you get to the ending. So I still enjoy Akira. It's still my favorite anime. Again, as a guy that's not big into anime, that's definitely a film that visual has elements of Blade Runner, other movies of that nature. It gets metaphysical, but not to the point it's so entirely confusing, or that we just stop and talk for 10 minutes about metaphysics of... It's not like the movie... I love The Matrix Reloaded, but the worst scene is the Kentucky Fried Colonel guy. That's what he looks like. He looks like the KFC Colonel. Go on for like 5 minutes about the Matrix in that one room with when he's talking to Neo. I was like, oh gosh, shut up, man. Just go make some KFC for me, dude. Like, this movie didn't do that. And yeah, I love Matrix Reloaded. But that, like, scenes like that help hurt the film. And you could tell that this film inspired a lot of movies, a lot of stuff in the future. And yet, sadly, maybe I was spoiled by it. Because seeing this, even watching it again, being impressed by it, I'm like, man, just for me, a lot of... Like, I'm not big into Princess Mononoke. I'm sorry. It didn't do much for me. I like Ninja Scroll. I wasn't into... A lot of the people... A lot of ones that... Like, even Ghost in the Shell, I'm not really big into those animes. I'm sorry. I'm just not. So again, I'm like, well, these are supposed to be the best ones, and again, the only two that I keep repeating is Akira and Ninja Scroll. So I guess maybe I'm just not a big anime guy. I don't know. I remember not minding Wicked City as well. I think that's another one I didn't mind. But Akira, I do think it's a classic. I think even if you're not into anime, you may enjoy it. It is for free on YouTube. It's the subtitle version, and then you just type Akira 1988. You change the little thing to search for movies above 20 minutes, and you'll find it. So it is on YouTube for free for those who do watch it. And very entertaining, very cool. Cool, just cool is like the best word for it. Cool to listen to, cool to watch. And a heavy influence. This is definitely a film that helped popularize the anime format. It's not the first, but there's a lot of people who have said it's the best. At least from people I've heard of. So there you go. So with that said, thanks for watching. Take care. We'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.